SpongeBob has had a multitude of video games come out throughout his entire lifespan, but what are the top 5 video games of his of all time? Let's discuss right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag.
A quick shout out to White Lemon. This is a fan art of Metal Duckles that they drew for me, and Metal Duckles looks actually a little bit creepy in this one. I mean, those eyes are just like so scary, and you know, the dark background doesn't really help either. The duck beak is like kind of blending in with the background, and so I really like this take though. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Anyway, hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX. Welcome to my channel, where today we're celebrating SpongeBob's 20th anniversary. So if this video is coming out the day that I intended for it to come out, then today is the day that SpongeBob's 20th anniversary special is going to be premiering, and I just thought that this would be a nice video for y'all to watch in anticipation of that special. And so we all know that like there's a lot of celebration going on for the TV show. I mean, obviously the TV show is why we're all here in the first place. The TV show is the one that basically sprouted everything SpongeBob-esque throughout these past 20 years. But today, what we're gonna do is talk about the video games, because that's what my channel is basically all about. It's all about the SpongeBob video games, and so I just wanted to make sure that they got a chance to kind of see some spotlight, and you know, we all remember to celebrate the games along with the TV show. And so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite SpongeBob video games of all time. And now I really wanted to make sure I put this disclaimer of all my top 5 videos in the future and with this one, but my lists are always changing. I mean, they might not drastically change, but every now and then there might be like a certain game or two kind of like swapped out in place of another one, and so this isn't by far not a solid list. My opinion changes all the time, but I think with this list in particular, it's solid enough that I felt like I could make a list. But like I said, in the future that might change, especially with the release of Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I'd be really interested in seeing where that game lands on my list. But okay, let's get right into this top 5 list. At number 5, we're starting off immediately with a Heavy Iron Studios title, specifically Truth or Square. And so SpongeBob Squarepants Truth or Square was a video game based off of the 10th anniversary special. And so it's kind of funny that we get to open up this video about the 20th anniversary with a game that was about the 10th anniversary. So I just think that timing is really funny. But Truth or Square, I made a review on this game a little while back, and before I played this game for the review, I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna like the game. I was like, you know what, I don't really have any strong feelings about this game. So that kind of told me that the game just wasn't anything special. So I wasn't expecting to like give it a good review, honestly. But when I actually played the game, I actually really enjoyed myself. I thought the gameplay was pretty solid. It reminded me a lot of Battle for Bikini Bottom and the movie game, although a lot more linear compared to those two games. And so I didn't really enjoy the linear aspect as much as I did the more open world-ish aspect of the levels of the previous two games. However, Truth or Square is still a pretty solid title, and a lot of what makes the game so great is just its references to SpongeBob Squarepants. I mean, the levels in that game are based off of 10 iconic moments in the franchise's history, and within the game you also have a bunch of different nods and references to other SpongeBob episodes. It really is what an anniversary special should be like, and so that's the main reason I like Truth or Square a lot, was because of its dedication towards the show's history and the gameplay, which was actually pretty decent if I have to be honest. Obviously the game has a lot of shortcomings and it's not as good as the games that came before it. However, it's still a pretty strong title, and it managed to just crack the top 5. This is a really tough choice actually between this game and another game that you all will probably figure out by the end of this video. But okay, that's it for number 5. At number 4, this is a title that really surprised me. You know, if you asked me a year ago if this was going to be in my top 5 list, I would have said no. I was pretty convinced that I didn't like this game. You know, with Truth or Square, I wasn't sure if I liked it or not. With this game, I was actually kind of convinced that I wasn't going to like it. But I've actually recently played this game for the first time in like 5 to 10 years, and I really enjoyed myself, and that is SpongeBob Squarepants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. So this was the game that came out right before Battle for Bikini Bottom, so pretty good timing, I guess. So that's not the best timing in the world, obviously, but Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, when I played it again recently, I realized that it itself was a pretty solid platforming adventure. You know, if this this was the best SpongeBob game that we ever got, then I wouldn't have been that disappointed. I mean, sure, the game's a little bit short, and it's definitely got some shortcomings, which I'll probably talk about in the near future, but Revenge of the Flying Dutchman is still a pretty fun, solid experience. It's got plenty of SpongeBob references, not as many as like some other SpongeBob games, but still a pretty good amount, and it's just a very charming game. And the levels in this game are a lot more open roadish compared to other SpongeBob games, like even more than Battle for Bikini Bottom in the movie game. You know, the levels in this game, when you go into them, you're basically free to kind of do what you want first, but the ultimate end goal, of course, is to do everything in said level. And so I really like the more unorthodox structure in this game compared to other SpongeBob games. And so Revenge of the Flying Dutchman is a surprisingly good game, so if you wrote it off, then I recommend you go back and try it out, because it honestly is not a bad game, especially compared to other SpongeBob games we've gotten recently. At number 3 is SpongeBob SquarePants Lights Camera Pants. And so I feel like this is a video game that no one really expected to be good. I mean, SpongeBob games in general, people really don't expect much from them, but a SpongeBob party game, yeah, it sounds about as much of a cash-in title as you can get. But Lights Camera Pants is actually a pretty fun title. The mini games, although they do tend to drag on for a little bit too long, they're all like at least 3 minutes. The mini games are pretty fun and they're pretty diverse, and they take place in specific areas within SpongeBob's universe. And there's a really interesting story mode that comes along with it. And the story mode is really cool in particular because you're basically auditioning for these roles, and the character that wins like each location, you might say, gets the role in that movie. And so at the end of the story mode, you actually get to see all of the different roles filled in by the characters that won their respective locations. And that is just a really cool way to kind of do the story mode of this game. I've never seen a party game make a story mode like that before, so that was really unique and very impressive for what was supposed to be a easy cash-in tie-in game. So I really applaud Lights Camera Pants for offering something a little bit different compared to other party games. At number 2 is the SpongeBob Squarepants movie game. And so the movie game was a direct successor of Battle for Bikini Bottom, and reportedly Heavy Iron Studios had less than a year to make this game, which makes sense because Battle for Bikini Bottom came out the year before the movie did, and so it would have been a pretty tight timetable, if I must say. And so as a result, this game borrows a lot of different mechanics and controls from Battle for Bikini Bottom, but personally I'm not mad about that at all. I actually welcome it. I really like that they decided to expand upon the Battle for Bikini Bottom gameplay, with SpongeBob and Patrick in particular, but at the same time also add a few new modes into the game, such as the paddy wagon driving, the more extended sliding levels, some interesting boss battles, and a lot of extra collectibles to give you more incentive to explore in the game. The game has a much more linear structure compared to Battle for Bikini Bottom, but that's not necessarily a problem. If anything, the only issues that really come to mind with this game is the progression halts that you get because you need a certain amount of Goofy Goober tokens to continue on with the level. But other than that, the game is very solid, it's very fun. If you love Battle for Bikini Bottom and you want more of it, then the movie game is the perfect option for you. Basically takes that same core gameplay and just expands it. So yeah, I really do enjoy the movie game. And finally, number 1, and I really would be surprised if you didn't guess this one, but number 1 is Battle for Bikini Bottom. And so obviously this is the motherlode of motherlodes. This is the SpongeBob game that basically puts SpongeBob on the map as a reputable video game franchise. Battle for Bikini Bottom was a game that no one expected to be good, but what we got instead was a game that was obviously influenced by a lot of great platforming collectathon greats such as Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, whatever else came out before SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom did. But honestly, Battle for Bikini Bottom is such a surprisingly great treasure that we stumbled upon, and I still love it to this very day. The fact that Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is coming out now just really shows how iconic this game is and how much it did for not just the SpongeBob franchise, but for licensing games in general. And so Battle for Bikini Bottom really, it's just an obvious choice for the number 1 slot. I mean, not only do I personally think it's the best SpongeBob game to ever come out, it's also by far the most successful and the most famous SpongeBob game ever. There really is just no argument for any other SpongeBob game to be better as objectively as you possibly can. I mean, I know this is a subjective list, but Battle for Bikini Bottom, if you try to judge it based off of like objective findings, Battle for Bikini Bottom really just undeniably is the biggest and best SpongeBob game ever. And I really can't wait for 2020 to come so that we can finally get our hands hands on the Battlefield Bikini Bottom remake and really just relive the great memories of this game, and hopefully Rehydrated will point a new direction for SpongeBob in terms of video games. So I'm really excited for the future, and I hope you are too. You know, SpongeBob's been around for 20 years, and SpongeBob has had a great impact on me, obviously in terms of TV shows, but also video games and just life in general. SpongeBob taught me to be a happier, more optimistic person, and that's why I love SpongeBob games. I love the SpongeBob show. I love the movies that came out. I love everything SpongeBob related. You know, SpongeBob just taught me to be a better and happier person, and for that I'm always very appreciative to SpongeBob, and you can always count on me to make more SpongeBob videos because SpongeBob is so special to me. It's really special, and I can't believe SpongeBob has been around for 20 years because that means I've been around for at least 20 years too. So it really is just crazy how much time has passed and how much of an impact SpongeBob was able to garner in that time frame. And so congratulations to Spongebob Squarepants for lasting as long as he did. Rest in peace, Steven Hillenburg. Thank you so much for creating something that's such a huge part of my childhood that spawned off so many great products and stuff, especially the video games in particular. Yeah, that's basically it for my soapbox. So I know there are a few SpongeBob games that people will be upset I didn't include in this list. So let me know in the comment section below what your top 5 list would be. Let's share each other's list. Let's talk about the games and just celebrate SpongeBob, and look forward to tomorrow because that is when I'm going to be starting my SpongeBob live stream weekend celebration. And so I'm going to be live streaming a bunch of games on both tomorrow and Sunday of various SpongeBob games that you all voted on earlier in the week. And so get ready for that. It's going to be lit. We're going to have a great birthday celebration. Alright everyone, thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future. Follow me on Twitter or Twitch, and join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. A special shout out to Reese Gaming, my one and only patron. If you would like to become a patron or YouTube member and get access to a whole bunch of perks, then please consider joining in the description box below. Alright, this is Riders, riding out.